At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Mike Krueger here. Just getting a little bit behind here, so I'm not going to be able to show you on social media this morning, although let me kind of get into this right now here, and let's see if we can do this. Oh, there we go. We are going to do why am I just blanking on all? Oh, there we go. Okay, we're going to go ahead and view. All right, good. All right, never mind. I got just that little bit behind. I just needed a couple more seconds before we came on here, and we're good to go. How you doing? It's Thursday morning. I'm meteorologist Mike Krueger here on your Coffee with Krueger here, and here you go. I got my coffee. And if you got your coffee with you right now, you are having your coffee with Krueger, all right? And it's as simple as that. Boy, we have got a lot to talk about today. We've got an unseasonably cold storm that is approaching as we speak. The main impact we'll notice today, noticeably cooler temperatures. Winds picking up. Rain, not a lot today. It depends on where you are, which we'll get into all of that here just a little bit later. But before we get into anything, let's go into Krueger's Quickcast. This is just what you can expect for today. As you're heading out the door, you know what to expect, getting the kids off to school, getting yourself off to work, and of course, throughout the rest of the day. So let's get you out the door this morning. Take a look at those temperatures. We're in the low 60s. Another nice cool start. This is one of those mornings again, I went straight into my studio, opened up that window immediately, and I've been letting in that nice cool, in fact, to the point where it's almost cool. Like too cool in here. Oh, I'll take it. I love it. But temperatures low 60s there. 62 degrees for Redding right now, 63 in Chico. We got 40s for most of us in the higher elevations. Some of the warmer spots like Mount Shasta, Shingletown, Wairika, low to mid 50s there. Trinity County, mid to upper 40s. Weaverville and Hayfork, 59 in Willow Creek, and mid to upper 50s along the coast. Taking a look at that visibility, looks pretty good out along the coast. We're looking out at Elk Country in Trinidad. Looks like we are seeing, looks like a little bit of low clouds. I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell from that camera angle there, from that camera shot. But this is what it looks like right now in Crescent City out at Harbor District. Just kind of overcast skies. These are clouds in advance of the storm system, so it's not necessarily in the way of fog or low clouds, but the storm system is approaching and the clouds are moving in. Now, you will see most likely through the morning and afternoon some stray sprinkles, some light showers, but I'm not anticipating anything all that significant when we're talking about rainfall today for the North Coast. But again, you can take a look at that visibility. It looks pretty good out there in most cases here. We take you out the door this morning. As you're heading out the door, you can expect to see, you see some of the showers coming in for the North Coast. Yeah, again, don't be put off by that. That's not going to be a major issue. It's not going to be enough for you to really cancel any outdoor plans. But just know that if you're out and about, if you work outside, you may run into a stray sprinkle or a light shower this morning and through the afternoon. But that's the extent of it for today. Otherwise, everyone else is dry today, but later this afternoon, especially late afternoon, early evening, it may be a little bit of a different story for Siskiyou County and for parts of the valley as well. By the way, Trinity County, you could see a stray sprinkle or light shower through the day today as well. Here's your forecast smoke, yet we're still going to see some smoke coming in from the Boise fire, pushing to the east. So for the areas that are east of the Boise fire, you still may be experiencing some of that haze and smoke, and by tonight, that will really start to dissipate. Okay, let's take a look at Futurecast. So again, you see the little areas of green over Modoc County, Del Norte County, Humboldt County, Trinity County, all seeing a chance for a stray sprinkle or light shower. But late this afternoon, early evening, look at the line that's developing here for basically central Siskiyou County into northern Shasta County and even the valley. Now, one thing to keep in mind with the valley is very dry. Okay, so any rain we initially see will most likely evaporate. However, if it gets heavy enough, which we can kind of see a little bit of development there around the Redding area, maybe a stray shower late this afternoon and evening, and an off chance for a thunderstorm. But we could see some lightning strikes out towards central Siskiyou County, and not to mention maybe even northern Shasta County. But look at to the east. Look at Modoc County, Lassen County, and Plumas County. You're dry. You're even, for the most part, cloud-free as well. But the clouds will be on the increase for pretty much everyone else. Now, tonight, we're still seeing kind of that round of heavy rainfall, thunderstorms for central and even eastern portions of Siskiyou County. But everywhere else, most likely fairly dry, minus a few sprinkles here and there for parts of the coast. So that's today. Today's kind of, again, the approaching storm system. And you can see it's going to be late this evening, really late afternoon, early evening, before anything really starts to pop up that's significant. And of course, the winds are picking up at this point as well. We've got those gusty winds out there. We're going to talk about that in more detail here in our fire forecast here in just a second. There you can see the chance for thunderstorms. Now, I got it for all of Siskiyou County, but really, we want to focus on places like Wairika, Weed, Tennant, Doris, maybe even Tule Lake. Dunsmuir, yeah, you could maybe see a stray shower or thunderstorm. Elsewhere, you're not noticing any showers or thunderstorms. That's because we don't expect any in those areas. So let's take a look at that 7-day outlook. Now, there's a lot to unwrap here and a big story behind this 7-day forecast. So I could go on for several minutes talking about the 7-day forecast and the timing. But if you want a more complete and detailed look at what we're talking about here, then you're going to want to stick around for the longer forecast, because we're going to go into all of the timing. We're going to go hour by hour, especially as we go into Friday night. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind when you're looking at the 7-day forecast. But it's basically today, the main event tomorrow, Saturday, things start to decrease. And then it's warming back up and drying out as we go into next week. Yes, things will be back to normal around here by the end of the weekend and early next week. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the fires now. Now, this black line of containment is not going to be the best representation. This is as of yesterday was 16% containment. We went from 16% containment last night to 28% containment for the Boise fire. That is amazing. I love to see that amount of progress. So I'll take a look at the fire perimeter, hopefully, and get some access to that. And by tomorrow, we should have a better fire perimeter, or should we say fire containment line. The black line is the fire containment line. But again, I don't know where anything beyond 16% goes. It could be the south, it could be the east, I don't know. So I can't tell you that for sure. And some of the latest data activity that we've seen in the last 6 to 12 hours is on the southeast side of the fire. The area of red is the 6 to 12 hours old. As you go into the yellows and oranges, that's 2 to 3 days old. Anything gray is 4, 5, 6, even 7 days old. So really, there was some actually elevated fire activity from the Boise fire. The winds picked up a little bit here, and the humidity levels did drop. So it's the southeast side of the fire that we saw most of those flare-ups. Meanwhile, we take you out to the Park Fire. We've seen some new containment there at 61% containment, 429,460 acres. That black line is, for the most part, fairly accurate in at least the latest containment lines. Take a look at the winds. They're not blowing a whole lot right now, but they will be picking up here later this afternoon and evening. In fact, the National Weather Service has issued for today through tonight, Modoc County, eastern Lassen County, red flag warning. Gusty winds, low humidity, high fire danger as a result. You need to look at the fire outlook from the National Weather Service, elevated for most of Modoc and Lassen counties, not to mention northeastern portions of Plumas County. So let's take a look at the winds, and there you can see they're picking up this afternoon, especially to the east. So this is where we got that more elevated fire danger. And then, of course, as we go into your Friday, we're going to talk about that more detailed on the Friday and Saturday as well. We're just going through today. We take a look at the relative humidity for today. It's going up a little bit. This is good. With the cooler temperatures, humidity levels going up. But again, still dry, still windy off to the east in Modoc County and eastern Lassen County. All right, we're going to take a look at some of the cameras out there this morning, and there you can see it looks pretty dry out there on the spillway for Lake Oroville, so it looks like they're not really releasing a whole lot of water from the dam. There you can see Lake Oroville North Forebay, And still looking at some pretty calm conditions out there. Clear skies. Taking a look at Main Street Chico on Highway 32. As we typically see this time of the morning, just not a lot of traffic out there. And a lot more traffic on Highway 99 at Neal Road. And we take you out to Highway 44 at Sundial Bridge Drive in Reading. You can see some traffic out there. Hey, by the way, today is Thursday. We've got a new NorCal Ag Report. I had a chance to meet somebody special today, last week when I did this interview. And you may remember that geodesic dome kind of in the Anderson area off of I-5, and it's gone. Well, there's a reason why it's gone. They wanted to replace it with a new and improved geodesic dome. But then they're like, wait, no, we've got something even better to put there. So let's take a look at our NorCal Ag Report, and I'll show you what I'm talking about, what they're going to replace it with. Hello everyone, I'm Mike Krueger from Weather NorCal. This is another Ag Report sponsored by Lassen Canyon Nursery. And you're probably looking behind me and you see this guy. First, let's introduce the man behind this, or right now he's in front of it, but the guy who invented this. And I got to tell you, we're going to learn more about this, and you're going to wonder, why haven't we had this before? So you're Charles Lassiter.
Yes.
And what's your association with Providence International?
I'm on their advisory board, and
Okay.
I've been working with them some time, and I built the geodesic dome that was previously here.
All right, so the geodesic dome, that's where we're going to start off with. You may remember the geodesic dome that was in front of the farm. You drive by it on I-5 and you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then one day it's gone, poof, right?
Right, exactly.
So they were originally going to build another one, but because of this, and now this is a prototype.
Right.
We're going to have this in that place instead. And it's going to be about the same size, if I'm not mistaken, right?
30 feet in diameter.
30 feet in diameter. So tell me first and foremost, this is a prototype, but tell me what this is and what this is all about.
Well, what this is a sphere that captures the maximum volume of air, and it spins around a mast to create angular momentum to drive a power wheel, which can produce electricity or magnetic induction, or in primitive circumstances, a grain grinder or water pump or various similar.
So this is something that essentially, you think of the wind turbines that we're used to seeing. This is something that essentially could replace that, and really essentially it seems like it's more efficient and will be better.
Indeed, it's a 21st century Dutch windmill.
Yeah.
It captures the air in a spherical manner and creates it to angular, or turns it into angular momentum, which is a new concept. I'm surprised no one ever did it.
Well, and that's what amazes me the more you tell me about it. So when we think about a traditional wind turbine, even the ones that are for homes, it takes a lot more wind than this to get it going, right?
Right, and they don't have the mass. They're just spinners that spin on low energy battery charges. With a big one, this can drive a lot of power.
I can imagine, and you were saying it takes as little as 4 miles per hour of a wind to get this thing spinning, right?
Well, as you can see, it's in motion.
Yeah,
and it's
not windy at all.
It's not windy at all, yeah.
So that's pretty amazing to me to think that this is, I mean, feels like I could just go like this, right?
Probably.
And that's all it would probably need. So if you just get people blowing, you could just get some energy here. So what's the plan and goal with this? What are your hopes with this? Is this something you're hoping that will make it into the mass market and people will start using it more and more?
Well, my primary endeavor is to help Providence with their energy systems. They've got various things they're using, solar and other biochar.
Yeah.
And this will contribute to their program. This is a test bed. It's a scale model.
Yeah.
It won't put out the power that the 30-footer would, but I'm testing all the intricacies of it, and I'm discovering quite a bit, because it's just a prototype test bed at this point. But it's very promising results. As you can see, it just spins practically on its own.
I mean, yeah, that's amazing. And you were saying it's going to generate energy for the farm. How much energy is it going to produce? Will it be for the whole farm? I mean, how much energy?
Well, what we're going to do is I've got a 24-volt battery pack here.
Okay.
So it's going to charge batteries initially.
Oh, got it.
So it'll run a 24-volt generator that'll charge a battery pack with 6K or something like that. So it'll be just like your typical Tesla wall type application.
You were talking about how it basically anchors itself.
Right.
Right? So how does that work? You're talking about a vortex that develops above it?
Well, it spins around. It's kind of like, it would lift off like a helicopter if it wasn't tied down, but it's like a fan. It creates a spin above it. And that vortex in the air above it acts like a governor in the overall wind situation.
Down.
So it creates a maximum velocity But at that velocity, say 30 RPMs or something like that, it can be geared down to drive a generator or other power sources.
That's pretty amazing.
The nice thing about it, it's the maximum ability to catch the wind. A sphere is the most efficient container of volume, and the sails are like a sailboat, like jibs. It's the same principle of how you can tack against the wind with a sailboat. These jib sails act the same way. So it really captures the wind just as a sailboat would.
Well, I got to tell you, this is absolutely amazing to me to think, like you say, nobody's thought of this. You're getting it patented, which is a great idea, because I'm sure once somebody gets their hands on this, they're just going to fly with it. So for those of you that are watching right now, look for his stock. I tell you what, it's going to take off here. So Charles, I appreciate you taking the time to come out here and tell me more about this, and congratulations on such a great invention here. I think, like I say, this is going to be something that's going to be really neat, not only to help generate electricity for the farm, but I think it's going to be a really cool replacement for what they had there in general. So thanks again, and thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next week for another NorCal Ag, sponsored by Lassen Canyon Nursery. Once again, I want to thank Lassen Canyon Nursery for their sponsorship of the NorCal Ag Report. Without their sponsorship and, of course, their contribution, we would not be able to run this report. It takes, time, effort, got to get out there and do it. And of course, I've also brought in some people to help me, such as Jerry O'Lennon. My wife is helping with these NorCal Ag Reports as well. So it takes time and effort to get this going. So again, appreciate Lassen Canyon Nursery for their sponsorship of the NorCal Ag Report. Well, before we get to the forecast here, I'm going to check in with everybody, see how you're doing this morning, and really everyone just saying good morning. I really appreciate all of the good mornings to me and to everybody else. It is a good morning. Absolutely. Nice and cool start to the day. No rain just yet, but we will start to see some showers approaching the coast and eventually some rain making its way for many of us. I don't think all of us are going to see a ton of rain out of this. This is going to be an interesting next couple of days, to say the least. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and get you to the forecast here. We're going to go into the deeper dive. Before we get to that, of course, talking about sponsors. Without our sponsors, Weather NorCal would not exist. Coffee with Krueger would not exist without our sponsorship from Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. Usually I just leave my white shirt on for Coffee with Krueger and make it kind of casual. I put on my coat and I'm like, you know what? I don't know why I decided. I haven't been putting it on for a while, but for some reason I decided to put it on. I'm going to take it off because, again, more of that casual Coffee with Krueger look. All right, that's what we're going for. All right, there you go. Okay, so here are your temperatures out there right now. We are sitting at basically low 60s for most of us in the valley right now. One of the cooler spots is Corning at about 59, 62 for Redding. But open the windows, let in that cool, fresh air. I've been doing that all morning long, and it's nice and cool here in my studio. 42 degrees for Alturas, 42 degrees in Susanville, 47. You can see about 53 for around Shasta City, and mid to upper 50s for the coast. So your headlines, let's kind of get you started. Here's what we're going to be talking about through this weathercast. And it's going to be a long one. Pop some popcorn and just kind of sit back and relax and enjoy and get the information detailed. The most comprehensive, most detailed forecast you can find anywhere here in Northern California. You're not going to find a more detailed forecast, I can tell you that much right now. Highs stay below normal for the rest of the week. We've been spoiled. We're going to take a look at what we've been seeing here temperature-wise for the month of October, what we're expecting down the line as well, and taking a look at how spoiled we've been. Cooler with rain and thunderstorms for Friday and Saturday, and really even as early as late this afternoon and evening for some of us. Not everybody, just a few spots. Snow, yeah, we're talking about snow. Now, this is not a big deal. Don't get those snowboards out just yet, but you will probably see 7,000 feet and higher, the potential for some accumulating snow. We're talking about an inch at most. It's not going to be a big deal, but a nice dusting of snow over some of those higher elevations. Triple digits, though, are expected to return to the valley. So yes, we're talking about cooler temperatures, rain, thunderstorms, the works, right? But after that, once it passes, it's back to normal around here. And it's going to get hot again. All right, so I know, right? Bearer of bad news. That's what I do here. Here's a look at those winds for right now. All right. Pretty typical. Now, there is a red flag warning for Modoc County and eastern Lassen County. Why? Why is there a red flag warning when we've got rain and higher humidity in the forecast? Well, because we're not going to see a ton of rain here, initially especially, right? Especially for today and tomorrow. So with the gusty winds associated with the main storm system approaching, we still got dry conditions out there. Should a fire start today or even tomorrow in these areas, they could spread rapidly because of those gusty winds and the fuels out there as well. In fact, the National Weather Service also has kind of in that elevated range here when we're talking about the fire outlook. And going into tomorrow, Friday, remember I was mentioning we could still see some high fire danger, especially in the extreme eastern portions of Modoc and Lassen counties. So there are the winds today. You'll notice the winds are a little gusty. They were even yesterday out towards the Boise fire, but really not as bad to the west of the valley. It's the valley eastward where we've got some of the strongest winds today. We go into tomorrow, and yes, the winds are strong, but they're going to be more isolated because of the thunderstorms. But the main area of low pressure is going to be closer to us, but still looking at some gusty winds for your Friday afternoon. Then on Saturday, the storm system is really exiting the region. Winds not nearly as strong for the first half of the weekend. All right, taking a look at the humidity levels. Yes, with the cooler temperatures, humidity levels going up. There's some moisture associated with the storm system approaching as well, and that's why humidity levels are going up. We go into your Friday, humidity levels even higher. Why? Well, of course, the rain at that point is going to be moving through. But look at Saturday. Still some decent humidity levels, but they are dropping, getting back to where we're used to around here. So this is what I'm tracking here for Thursday through Saturday. And it's mainly going to be a Friday event. And on either side of that, depending on where you are, some of you may see it better than others. All right, but overall, what I'm tracking, thunderstorms, scattered isolated thunderstorms. Some of them could be strong to severe, which means periods of heavy rainfall, hail, lightning, the works, right? Now, overall, because the main area of low pressure is approaching, it's going to bring us gusty south to southwest winds. So not only will we see gusty winds, erratic winds coming from those thunderstorms, but the overall wind pattern, because of the main area of low pressure responsible for these thunderstorms, will bring us gusty winds today and tomorrow. And snow, that's something I just talked about a little bit earlier, as low as 7,000 feet. Not enough to get out the skis and snowboards, not enough to do any of that, but we might see a nice little light dusting of snow for some of those highest elevations above 7,000 feet. Nice, tightly wound area of low pressure right here. That's a strong storm system, stronger than we typically see this time of the year, and colder as well. This is not something I typically talk about in August. But you see these speckled clouds? I feel like I'm in the middle of winter right now saying that because I say that almost every day. Speckled clouds indicating the colder air that's in the atmosphere. That's a cold and unstable atmosphere. You bring that over a warmer, more moist atmosphere, boy, I tell you what, you see those thunderstorms popping up, and some of them could be strong to severe, which means, as I mentioned, heavy rainfall, gusty winds, lightning, the works, right? Hail. So the severe outlook, this is coming in from the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma. I know they're a long distance away, but this is their primary job, is to see where is the best potential for severe weather and what we can expect. Okay, so based on that, this is what they're projecting, that the best potential for thunderstorms today will be right here in central Siskiyou County. And you know what? I agree with that. I think that's where we're going to see most of them today. Now, you're probably wondering where all these different colors are. This is just basically saying overall that's the chance for thunderstorms. Some of them could get strong to severe, but it's not until you start getting in the darker greens and the yellows that you start seeing that better potential. So we don't very often even get into the greens and yellows, let alone the oranges, reds, and of course that pink color as well. These are the colors that are typically reserved and we typically see off of the deep south, Tornado Alley, all of that, right? We don't typically see those colors here. But again, we can still see some of that. All right, now, this has changed since yesterday. This was a little bit more to the east. And the reason this has changed is because, and this is something I kind of even touched on yesterday, it's going to take a while, even tomorrow afternoon, before that rain and thunderstorm activity even makes its way into the valley. So this is where you got the best potential, at least for the first half of the day tomorrow. And then by tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, that will kind of push eastward. Then by Saturday, most of us are looking at drier conditions. But there you can see right here. So what this is really illustrating is that today, tomorrow, and then as the storm system exits on Saturday, most of it will be off to the east. So let's take a look at that. But before we do, another thing we need to talk about is a flash flood watch, mainly for the Park Fire burn scar area. You know, when you have these fires, and even burn scars kind of out, you know, from previous years, you've got less of a root system, right? Because the trees all burned down and they kind of died, right? So you have more risk when you have heavy rainfall to see mudslides and debris flows from those burn scarred areas. Now, so this area in green, you'll notice, just kind of surrounds the Park Fire. I've also put the Boise fire here for a point of reference because we don't have a flash flood watch there, but interestingly enough, there's going to be more rain over the Boise fire than there will be over the Park Fire. And we'll see that here. Let's take a look at this. All right, so let's walk you through the timing. This is going to take some time, so sit down, watch, and see what's going on here. And we're going to walk you through it. So here is today at noon. You can see not much going on. You can see maybe a stray sprinkle or light shower for Del Norte, Humboldt counties. Even Trinity County, Western Siskiyou County, yes, a stray sprinkle light shower. Everywhere else, not even the cloud cover moving in. So the first half of the day, still clear skies here eastward, right? All right, now we're going to take you into today at 4 p.m. Still a stray sprinkle, a light shower in these areas here. Central Siskiyou County, remember? The Storm Prediction Center putting the chance for thunderstorms here. There it is. There's those thunderstorms popping up around Wairika, maybe even Mount Shasta, but nothing in the valley just yet. So as we go into about 5, 6 o'clock this evening, late afternoon, now we're seeing the potential for showers. Now, a couple of things I want to mention with this. It's very dry over us right now. So initially, when these showers are developing, a lot of it really won't reach the ground. You'll see those streaks coming from the clouds, but they won't reach the ground. But eventually, if they get strong enough, we could see some light showers, maybe even a thunderstorm, okay? But most likely just some stray showers. Most of the thunderstorms, I think, will be reserved for northern Shasta County and into central Siskiyou County. Meanwhile, again, just a few stray sprinkles and light showers to the west. But notice Modoc County, Lassen County, Plumas County, all dry and mainly clear skies. This is 6 o'clock today. There's the Park Fire, nothing going on there just yet, but keep in mind too, the winds are picking up at this point. So that may be a bit of a concern here for the fires. Let's go into 8 o'clock tonight, 10 o'clock tonight, most of it to the north here. And then by midnight, still some heavy rainfall possibly around central Siskiyou County. Now we take you into tomorrow morning. We're beginning to see more activity developing here. This is the main disturbance that's going to be pushing through tomorrow. So you can see Del Norte County, Western Siskiyou, and Humboldt County seeing some showers. Most of the thunderstorms, though, will be reserved for Del Norte County. Now you'll notice a little bit of activity popping up here. What's happening is the atmosphere is getting a lot more moisture. We're starting to see it get more saturated. So some of these clouds could develop a few showers, but the most amount of instability is still off to the north and west. Okay, now we take into the noon hour tomorrow. Here's that disturbance right here. So essentially, you think about the area of low pressure, the flow around that low is going to be doing this, okay? We have these disturbances, these little spins in the atmosphere that create the instability for showers and thunderstorms. That's where this all comes into play. That's what we're seeing, this disturbance right here by noon, just beginning to hit the coast. By noon tomorrow, still dry in the valley, still dry to the east, but you're noticing a lot more cloud cover. Okay, then we go into Friday at about 4 p.m. There's the main band of heavy rainfall. This is going to be gusty winds, heavy rainfall, thunderstorms, maybe some hail. But now we're seeing just some what we call just isolated scattered showers and thunderstorms making their way into parts of the valley. Now, you see it's as far south as Corning, Red Bluff, Redding, and then northward. But again, notice to the east, not much going on. Notice the Park Fire, still not much rain. But look at the Boise fire right here. It's kind of hard to see. That's that little red dot there. That right there is associated with that, is going to have some heavy rainfall and gusty winds. So we're going to have a lot of rainfall over that Boise fire. That is for sure. But nothing over the Park Fire just yet. Now we go into Friday night, 10 p.m. Once again, we're seeing now what's happening is that disturbance and most of that flow is beginning to push more to the east. So now we're starting to see more of it into Siskiyou County, Modoc County getting in on it, but look at places like Bernie, maybe Redding getting caught up Friday night, but to the south, not much going on here. Look at the Park Fire. Not much in the way of rain at this point. Still, this is Friday night, okay? But you can see in Trinity County, Delaware, Humboldt County, heavy rainfall at times, not to mention gusty winds, possible hail, and not to mention lightning. We're also seeing some snow over Mount Shasta, by the way. Okay, so we're seeing Mount Shasta, the mountain, not Mount Shasta City. That's 3,500 feet. Okay, so here is 2 a.m. on Saturday. Now we're seeing that main disturbance over Modoc County, eastern Shasta County, so around Bernie, right? And even the valley, especially around Redding and Red Bluff, seeing those showers and thunderstorms, heavy rainfall, hail, the works, right? And behind it, just some little bit of instability, a few scattered showers and light thunderstorms. But notice the Park Fire, 2 a.m. Saturday, still not much in the way of rain at this point. Now I'm going to take you into about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Notice where the bulk of the rain is in the Park Fire. Extreme northern portion of the fire, okay? South end of the fire, I don't think we're going to see much. Chico, I don't think you're going to see much rain either. But still, 4 a.m. Saturday, notice where it is. Now it's beginning to make its way into Lassen, but just a few stray showers elsewhere behind that. We go into Saturday morning, 6 a.m. Look at the snow over Lassen Park. We're going to see some fresh snow up there. There's the rain, thunderstorms for Modoc, Lassen County. Look at that, Warner Mountains, you're seeing some snow, all right? Above 7,000, 8,000 feet. Cool, it's going to look beautiful when it clears out. But there you can see more thunderstorms around Bernie. But look at the Park Fire. It's beginning to exit the region and it's drier, but still some scattered sprinkles and light showers, even for the valley, not out of the question. We go into Saturday, 10 a.m. We're starting to see a disappearing act with the rain. By 10 a.m., most of it's out of here. Still some clouds, but through the day on Saturday, look what's happening. The clouds are moving out. Now, one thing I do want to mention, and it's not being picked up by Futurecast, so it's not really being talked about. If we get enough clearing early enough in the day, we could see what we call convective activity. There's going to be still leftover moisture that with the daytime heating, we can see that rise and create showers and thunderstorms. So that's something I'm going to keep my eyes on for Saturday. We'll see. For now, Futurecast isn't really picking up on that, so I wouldn't be too concerned about it. So I want to take a look at the forecast rainfall totals. The bulk of the rain is right here. This is where we're going to see the heaviest amount of rainfall. But again, I always have to stress this, especially with this type of storm. Don't take these numbers over your area as literal amounts. Some areas in Redding, yeah, may only see about 1/1500th of an inch of rainfall, but if we get caught under a thunderstorm in some areas, it could be more than that. But I do expect less rain as you head to the south. So Chico, I think you're just not going to see much out of this. There's a very good chance you may not even see much in the way of rain at all. But don't be surprised if at that time frame of, say, Friday night, Saturday morning, you maybe see some heavier rainfall or thunderstorms. But most of it, I think, will be to your north. But that's kind of just taking a look at the rainfall totals. Again, don't take those to be literal. And I can't believe I'm pulling this map out in August, but I was like, hey, let's take a look. Mount Shasta, the mountain. Look at this. It's showing over 1 foot of snow on the very peak of the mountain. Hopefully nobody's up there hiking, right? Then we go over to Lassen Peak. Yeah, there's some snow there. Warner Mountains. Look at that. You're seeing some of the snow off to the east as well. In parts of Trinity County, western Siskiyou County, a little bit of snow over some of those higher elevations above 7,000 feet. I'm talking snow in August. Gotta love it. Gotta love Northern California. All right, so this is the area of low pressure that's giving us the cooler and windy conditions for today. Cooler conditions on Friday, windy conditions. Now again, we just talked about the rain, so we're not talking about that right now. We're just talking about the cooler temperatures and the wind. Now look what happens as we go into Saturday. Very quickly exits to the north and east. That is when temperatures start to increase. That's when the winds start to die down, and that's when the chances for rain move out. So remember, fall-like here is what I'm talking about. And then this right here is back to summer. Because as we go into Sunday, early next week, high pressure is going to build back in. Now we've got these storm systems running to our north, kind of helping to suppress that a little bit. So we are going to see temperatures back in the upper 90s to about 100 degrees through a good portion of next week. But we're not seeing a major heat wave. We're not talking 105, 110. We're talking upper 90s to about 100 degrees. Temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center does put us in that warmer than normal category. And this is something I was talking about. First week and a half of August, minus that first Saturday, it was 100 degrees or higher in Reading. Then all last week, below 100 in the 90s. Last weekend, we were in the mid to upper 80s. Of course, that's when we saw the thunderstorms, so that's why it was cooler. All this week, we're staying in the 90s. But eventually by Friday, 70s, Saturday, let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that as we go into Friday, Saturday. So Saturday still in the 70s, still 90s by Sunday, and then we're going to break that stretch possibly, maybe, of staying below 100 degrees. We're borderline. But it's back to normal around here as we go into next week. All right. Whew. All right, let's just kind of get through the rest of the forecast here, and then we'll kind of answer some questions if you have any. There you can, of course, see we do have some fairly low wave heights along the coast. They're going to stay fairly low even into Friday, but you'll notice those wave heights are really starting to increase in some areas over the ocean as that storm system approaches. So your marine forecast, south winds at 5 knots. There's going to be a chance for some rain today, but it's not going to be a ton. So I don't expect that to be a big problem. I'm not going to go into the timing here. This is why, what you just watched with Futurecast, this is why it's important. When you're looking at the 7-day forecast, there's more to it than what you're looking at there. That's all I got to say about that. And that's why it's important to really know the story behind the 7-day forecast before you really start knowing exactly what to expect. And that's why you can't just go to your app, any app really, and look at a 7-day forecast and know what to expect. You can't. You just can't. There's a story behind every 7-day forecast. 71 degrees for a high today in Peanut, 73 for Wildwood, 72 degrees out in Ruth. Let's take a look at your North Coast neighborhood forecast. Temperatures today are going to be noticeably cooler, especially for the inland areas. You won't notice it as much for the coast, but you're talking 68 degrees for Ferndale, 68 degrees for Hydesville. We take you up north, 76 in Hoopa, 77 for Willow Creek, 65 degrees for McKinleyville. Everywhere for the North Coast, including inland, you've got a chance for a sprinkle or a light shower today. Most of the rain will be tomorrow, and not to mention thunderstorms. That's also the case for Trinity County. How about Siskiyou County? Well, you see the lightning strikes here? Probably not. I think most of it will be the I-5 corridor eastward later today. And by the way, it's dry for the first half of the day, even for Siskiyou County. Not to mention Scott Valley. Scott Valley, you may see a stray shower or thunderstorm today, but late this afternoon into the evening and overnight hours. This right here, this is where I think we'll see the best chances for thunderstorms later on this afternoon, in particular the evening and overnight. And much cooler too, only reaching the 70s for most cases. Now, Modoc County, you'll notice not a drop of rain, not even much in the way of cloud cover today. You're mainly sunny. Clouds will be on the increase on Friday, but still, even Friday, not much going on for you rain-wise. It's Friday night and Saturday morning that you've got the best chance for showers and thunderstorms. Saturday afternoon, gone. Completely gone by Sunday and warming up as we go into next week. Eastern Mountains, kind of the same time frame. Today, you're dry, maybe around Bernie, a chance for a shower or thunderstorm late this evening into tonight. But east of that, probably looking at those drier conditions. And then, of course, Friday, you can see some of that activity as well. Kind of what's in line with what we're expecting here for even the Reading area. However, you take it to Lake Elmo or Lassen Park today, not a drop of rain, not much in the way of cloud cover, maybe showers, thunderstorms Friday night into Saturday. We take you off to the south, Paradise, you're dry today. Maybe late Friday night. Yeah. Friday night, kind of like Chico. Chico's not going to see much. I don't think Paradise will either. Susanville, though, Friday night into Saturday morning, there's that chance for showers and thunderstorms Friday night into Saturday morning. 83 for a high today in Corning, 83 for Los Molinos. I think it'll be dry today for basically Corning southward. Red Bluff, you may see a stray sprinkle, maybe a light shower. And then as you head north, the chances are a little bit better, but even then, it's not expected to be all that significant for the most part. Don't be surprised if you see around Whiskeytown, Lakehead, City of Shasta Lake, Reading, Anderson, Cottonwood, even Palisade, all of these areas could see a stray shower, maybe an off chance for a thunderstorm. So just be on the lookout for that. Of course, I'll keep you updated through the day as well. Let's take a look at your 7-day outlook for Reading. And there it is, a chance for showers, thunderstorms, especially for Friday. And then, of course, it dries out and it warms up going into next week. Oh man, that is a long one. That was a long one. Whew. It's like running a marathon sometimes. You're like, man, am I going to get through this? My camera's not focusing. There you go. All right, let's check in with some of you, see how you're doing. We've got Ruth saying good morning. We have got Tracy Sackett saying thank you for the in-depth coverage. Really appreciate the breakdown. That's what I do. That's what we do here at Weather NorCal, and that's what makes what I do here so unique. I don't have time frames. See, when I was working in TV, they only gave me a few minutes. And I'd be like, I got to get through it all. I couldn't tell the whole story. It was so frustrating. But now, I can tell the whole story. And I don't have to worry about anybody telling me to wrap it up. I'm not going to wrap it up unless I absolutely have to. Good morning, Mike. Love the ag reports. All right, Jeff. Well, do me a favor. Let the folks over at Lassen County Nursery, let them know you appreciate it. Maybe on their social media posts, whatever, right? Rebecca Lynn saying, good morning from paradise. Well, good morning to you. And we've also got Tom Frazier. Good morning, thank you, and have a great weekend ahead. And then, of course, we got Debbie saying, best career move. I agree. I was just talking to a buddy of mine yesterday. We were kind of talking about how things are going with Weather NorCal, and I said, I'm not even looking back, man. I'm not even looking back. I'm loving it. This has been great because, again, I get to do what I want to do under my terms. And I don't have to add anybody to wrap me up with time. I can do what I want. I can go on more vacations and work remotely if I need to. I can do that. It's so much easier to do that. I don't have to run it by my boss and say, can I have this day off? Can I have this week off? I can do it. And I can report the weather just as effectively wherever I am, even if I'm here in the studio. The only difference is I don't have a green screen. But again, it can still be just as effective. Deborah Ann saying, I rated the app and left a review on Google Play. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So this is one of those things where I appreciate people like you, Deborah Ann. And hopefully this is a motivation for you that might be watching, that if you have the app, that if you just watch and support and enjoy what I do here and appreciate what I do, that by doing these things, believe it or not, as small as it may seem, it really does help. Because the more 5-star ratings there are on the Google Play Store and in the App Store for the iPhone, the more it pops up at the top of the list. Okay, and so that helps me out. And those reviews are good as well. If you just kind of put a nice review in there, because then more people see it, they see the people reviewing it and they're happy with it, they're going to be less hesitant to download the app. Speaking of the app, don't forget, all you got to do is go to your App Store for your iPhone or Google Play Store, search for Weather NorCal, and get the app. Everything you need. We got Carolyn Marie. I believe it's probably Carolyn Marie. She is saying, I second the best career move for you and your family. It's a game changer. We as a community benefit more from this. We really appreciate it. I'm glad. And this is why I want to see more new names. Carolyn, I haven't seen you before. And I love when I see the new, listen, I love all of you. Okay, I love all of my regulars. Don't get me wrong. I love all of you. Deborah, Chappie, Stephen. Let's kind of go down the list here. We've got Jeff, Tracy, Sackett, Ruth. I love all of you. Elaine, Rowdy, Curtis, Lisa. Yeah, a lot of you regulars, right? But I'm seeing a lot of new names today. And what this tells me is that as we start to see this thunderstorm kind of move in, more people are paying attention to the weather. So for those of you that are new to this, that are discovering me for the first time, what you can also do to help me, tell your friends, tell your family. Let them know that I haven't retired. I haven't gone anywhere. I've been in Reading since I left TV. I'm still here. I've been doing Weather NorCal for over a year now. And it's working. It's successful. I'm paying the bills. I'm paying the bills for the business. We're doing this. It's working out. And I don't anticipate going anywhere anytime soon. So I've even got a weekend guy. How cool is that? I've got someone that I can pay to do weekends for me so I can have weekends off. Okay, enough of that. Enough of that, enough of that, enough of that. Oh, so, okay, so here's the deal. If you're just checking in right now and you're like, okay, what's going on? What did I miss? Here's what you can do. Let's go to weathernorcal.com. And after I'm done with my forecast, after I'm done with Coffee with Krueger, I'm recording it as we speak. If you missed it and you want to check it out, all you got to do is click on this banner right here. Boom. There it is. There's the Coffee with Krueger from yesterday. Now, eventually, as I get off the air here, which will be very soon, I will upload this to YouTube, and you can watch it from the Weather NorCal website, from the app that I was just talking about, and you can also go to the YouTube channel as well. So be sure to check that out, Coffee with Krueger. Oh, we got a new one coming in here too. Let's check that out here. So yeah, be sure to check that out. We have got Elizabeth Lawson saying, I agree with Carolyn. I know that I will receive from you a detailed, accurate call on the weather. You watch us through the car fire and I'm locked in. Oh, that's good. Oh, man, the car fire, that just brings up those emotions. That wasn't a tear. That was just, it brings up emotions. And yeah, so I appreciate that, Elizabeth. I appreciate the kind words. Oh, Carolyn's saying you followed since day one. The app came out. All right. Well, thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate that. I haven't seen you out here posting. So very cool. Very cool. I love to see that. I love to hear those stories. And here's the other thing too. Especially now that I'm on my own, I really do love when you all say hello to me, saying, hey, Mike, how you doing? I appreciate those. And when you say I watch Weather NorCal, it just validates what I'm doing because I know that you all are watching. Even if I don't see you here on Facebook making comments, I love that. It helps. But what really helps is when I hear from you out and about in public. I'm a humble guy. I will stop and talk with you if you want to talk, if I'm not busy. Sometimes I might be busy. So there you go. All right. Well, I got to get ready to take Aiden to school this morning. He's got to get to school. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wrap things up here. I may even wrap up before the song finishes its work because I got to get him to school here and start leaving here soon. But that's going to do it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. You know what? I'm not even going to wrap it up with music. Well, no, we got it. We always have to wrap it up with some music here, and even some. You have the 7-day forecast you've been looking at here. All right, now you're looking at the cameras here. There's a little bit of music for you. I'm going to wrap up the show. We will see you tomorrow morning on Coffee with Krueger, and we're going to be talking about some different stories, the latest forecast model data as the storm system begins to approach. There's going to still be a lot to talk about even tomorrow because the brunt of the storm will not have passed even by tomorrow morning. So, Steven's saying, where else can you get a 45-minute local forecast? Right? I know. And I remember people telling me, oh, people don't have the attention span for that. You know, some people may not. That's why I do Krueger's Quickcast, right? That's why I do that. So you can get a quick forecast. But for those of you that appreciate the longer forecast, you can only get that one spot right here at Weather NorCal. All right, enough of that. I can just keep going, but I got to get Aiden to school. All right, have yourselves a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning on Coffee with Krueger at 7 a.m.